asking me not to talk about how old I am when she's around, because that dates her. But I've noticed as my eyes slowly fade, my vision has never been clearer. What I once thought was a waste of time is now more useful than ever. What I knew was impossible to understand now makes perfect sense. Hindsight, through lessons learned and experiences gained, has helped me to see what I could never see before. I find myself saying, like most adults, if I only knew then what I know now. I'm asking you, the students of Project ENRICH, to skip past that delay in your learning. Skip past that delay in your understanding. Don't just hear me, understand me right now. Your way has been made easier by those who came before you. Your possibilities are seemingly endless because of the bridge builders, heroes, if you will, that blazed the trail or just made a way for you and me. And you know who they are. If it wasn't mom and or dad, surely it was grandma or granddad, or some other member of the family or extended family like Parks, or Robinson, or Douglas, or Booker T, perhaps even Burroughs, Truth, or Tubman, maybe even Woodson or Du Bois. All of them heroes from our past, all of them bridge builders for the next generation. All of them increased the possibilities for each one of us. All of them planted a seed that blossomed into fruit. Some time ago that fruit was me, today that fruit is you. My father made a statement to me when I was about 12 years old, and at the moment he said it, it went out of my mind for 20 years or more. I never thought about it again until sometime after I became a parent for the first time. It was then I began to think like parents do, like a bridge builder, like a hero. I thought about all I wanted for my children and all I thought they might become. So this one particular morning as I dressed for work, I was looking in the mirror as I tied my tie, and I guess I was thinking to myself, every day I have to tie this tie. Suddenly I remembered the words of my father on a day I had gone to work with him many years before. He was going through his daily routine, delivering the mail throughout the Bureau of Standards. And as I walked beside him, he looked at me and said, son, I don't want you to have a job like this. I want you to have a job where you have to wear a tie every day. And while looking at myself in the mirror that morning, tying my tie, I realized that one of his dreams for me had been realized. And I had to do just as he and my mother had done, sacrifice, set expectation, and to remove as many obstructions as possible for my children's chosen path. I understood that morning as I dressed for work that the seed my father had planted had turned to fruit. I know the seed of success has been planted in every student in this room simply because you are here. I know there is an abundance of hope for your collective futures. I know that every effort is being made to remove as many obstacles as possible from your chosen paths because you are here. And that's why Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated, Gamma Pi Chapter is here. Together, we should sow every seed of hope and possibility so that not just the students in this room blossom, but many, many more throughout the county. We should make every effort to have this program spread like a virus. The power and purpose of this program is too great, too massive to be contained by the square footage of this room. It is commonly known that the color of your eyes or the shape of your earlobe is not some random occurrence. Genetics makes those choices for us. Genetic science has proven that the male pattern baldness gene can be traced to and through the mother of a male. So young men, take a look at your mother's brother, your mother's father, or any other male on your mother's side of the family. If he is losing his hair or has lost his hair, chances are pretty good in time your hair will perform the same disappearing. No. Interestingly, there's a branch of biology called sociobiology, which is based on the assumption that social behavior is the result of evolution. Essentially, these sociobiologists believe that social behavior can be passed to the next generation like eye color or some other physical features. One of the leaders in the field of sociobiology said this: There is a hereditary selective advantage to membership in a powerful group united by devout belief and purpose, even when individuals subordinate themselves and risk death in a common cause. Their genes are more likely to be transmitted to the next generation than are those of competing groups who lack equivalent resolve. In my mind, this says to us that through our membership in a strong and powerful group with conviction and a common cause, we have the ability to genetically pass from one generation to the next our core values. So it seems as though we don't just choose to build bridges for the next generation, we are genetically programmed to do so. For those of you who don't know, there is somewhat a famous poem that promotes the idea of building links for the future and passing the torch along for the next generation. It is perfect for this discussion. I would venture to say that every member of this great fraternity of men learned and still knows this poem. I think it would be rather impressive if we all would recite it together. So brothers, let's be impressive. I'll start it off, join in where you like. The Bridge Builder by W.A. Drummoll. An old man going along the highway came at the evening, cold and gray, to a chasm vast, deep and wide, through which was flowing the summer tide. The old man crossed in the twilight dim. That sullen stream had no fears for him, but he turned and was safe on the other side, and built a bridge to span it high. Old man, said a fellow pilgrim near, you're wasting your strength to build it here. Your journey will end with the ending day. You never again will pass this way. You've crossed the chasm deep and wide. Why build this bridge at evening time? The builder lifted his old gray head. Good friend, in the path I have come, he said, there followeth after me today a youth whose feet must pass this way. This chasm that has been marked to me, to that fair-haired youth, may a pitfall be. He too must cross and climb down. Good friend, I'm building this bridge for him. Powerful words. I have just a few more words I want to share with you. First, to the parents. Consecutively for the last 15 years, the public college and university with the highest graduation rates for African American students has been the University of Virginia. There they have a dedicated support staff whose primary focus is to assist and mentor African American students during their time at the University in Charlottesville. Now, it's not easy to be accepted to the University of Virginia, but the Office of African American Affairs says very publicly to parents, if you can get your student here, we will get them to graduation. Such is the case here at Project ENRICH. If you can get your students here, this staff will pour into them more insight, information, and confidence than anyone would think possible. And finally, to the students, please remember this. You are capable of far more than you know. Choose a goal that seems right for you and strive to be the very best, however hard the path. Aim high, behave honorably. Prepare to be alone at times and to endure failure, but persist. Our communities, the nation, and the world need all you can give. Thank you.
Brother Fowler, thank you for those encouraging words. Next we'll have a voice